All right, everybody, let's get started. It's time for the accounting competency exam. You have 3 attempts to take it and get a 70 or better. If you don't take it, well, you can't be an accounting major here at FAU. Good luck. Well, after hearing that, I'm sure you're pretty anxious like this guy, right? My name is Chris Kaczynski. I'm the coordinator in the School of Accounting. As I stated in my last presentation, the accounting department's enrollment since 2017 has significantly declined 41%, partially due to exams. And today, I want to recommend eliminating entrance exams here at FAU, because by eliminating the exams, we can generate more students to enroll. Also, by doing that, we can get more revenue. And by doing revenue, then we can actually hire employees in the department to better assist the students. I'm going to explain the reasons why I'm doing this, as well as showing you some data. Then we're going to go into some situations that I have faced, and then the counter argument, which was my other potential solution that I did not address and decided to go with. Gradschools.com states that students are more likely to enroll in universities that do not have entrance exams. Speaking from personal experience, I have dealt with this firsthand from students. They've come to me, they pleaded their cases, and afterwards I have checked with their records, and I've seen that unfortunately, despite having good grades, they were not able to become accounting majors. So they've either had to change majors here at FAU or transfer to other universities. Since June of 2022, the accounting competency exam has been taken 456 times. 210 students passed on their first attempt, well, not on their first attempt in total. Unfortunately, 193 students failed at least one time, and some have not even taken it since. 150 of these students passed on their first attempt, and unfortunately, 53 of those students took the maximum attempts of 3 times, and they're no longer accounting students here. The School of Accounting, as well as the College of Business, is AACSB accredited. We are one of 986 schools in the world that's AACSB accredited. Basically, I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. If you graduate from one of these institutions, you have a better chance of getting hired than somebody who is not graduating from an AACSB accredited school. Here is the acceptance rate as well as graduation rates for the College of Business. We see 68%. It's about the average. 55% graduation rate. It's not as high as I personally would have thought. According to GetEducated.com, these are 7 other schools around the country that are also AACSB accredited. The only difference, they don't have entrance exams. Now, as you can see on this chart, FAU kind of falls right in the middle as far as the acceptance rates. But FAU is only higher than one university's graduation rate. So, what backlash have I faced with this? Well, I've spoken to my professors about this to try to change it. They are fearful that the quality of students will go down, as well as the GPAs. However, I explained to them 2 things. 1, the College of Business enrollment is going up, and we're the only department that's going down. Number 2, we've been having the accounting competency exam for 12 years. So right now, they're just giving me their opinion. Something needs to change. What was my other option? My other option was to eliminate textbook style teaching and have a more practical and analytical approach. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Well, upon further research, I realized it was going to take twice as long as I had anticipated in my first presentation, and 2, it was going to become more costly because revamping the curriculum would have to be on my faculty's own time. So, College of Business was going to have to pay them more. And since we don't have the funds, they weren't going to do that. So, in closing, like I stated initially, 46% of students have passed the accounting competency exam since June of 2022. I definitely recommend getting rid of the accounting competency exam because we gain more students, we gain more revenue. We gain more revenue, we can hire more people to do what is most important here, and that's take care of our students. And doing all of that, everybody can breathe a sigh of relief. I thank you guys very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions that you guys may have. So, any questions?
Questions? Ask away, people.
Not everybody at once, please. Michael.
So, the first time when you proposed I guess the issue that I'm having is how do you avoid, like you had talked about the cons as far as lower GPAs, how do you avoid the people who get all the way into it without the exam and then realize they cannot handle accounting? Because it's a very difficult thing to do. It's you know,
Sure.
It's not something that everybody is, regardless of your skills in math or whatever. So how do you fight that where they don't get so far in and then all of a sudden maybe they're too far for reprieve. They have to drop out, and now they've essentially spent time and money to go this far into a program that they have to switch.
No, excellent question, Michael. And I've thought about that, and upon my research of finding all the other schools, there were other schools on that geteducated.com that are in the same boat as we are, that have the opportunities to be waivers and all these other kinds of things. So, I mean, I really personally think that we can try to do the get rid of the accounting competency exam because we're the only Florida State school that actually has it, and I've seen that enrollments are actually going up. There is a huge decline, like I stated in my first presentation. Since 2017, we've lost almost half. A lot of it has to do with people not being good test takers. So because of anxiety. Okay, let's be realistic. I actually have anxiety. I get stage fright, so I understand where they're coming from. I've been playing music like 30 years. I still get freaked out. Okay, so I understand where they're coming from. And now that I'm a student myself, I've been in their situation, and I know that some things need to change. Like, I'm not a good test taker normally. So having this style type of class is actually more beneficial, I think, than having exams because you dump everything. Like, do you remember? I personally don't remember half the stuff I learned in my undergrad because everything was exam-based. And I don't see I understand why we have it, but I really don't think it's effective. And with accounting, you can only learn so much from a book. You have to be more practical, analytical, more hands-on. Until you're involved in it, you just don't know. So you can learn history from a textbook, you can learn, but you can't really, I really feel like you can't learn accounting from a textbook. You can't learn auditing. You actually have to physically do it. So having exams sometimes isn't for everybody. And I feel that there's a lot of people that I know that aren't test takers, but they know how to do this stuff. And I hope that answers your question. Sure. Jesus.
You mentioned taking out the entry to enter to the School of Accounting exam, but all the classes is going to remain the same. It's going to be text-based. So in that case, how are you going to handle that?
Well, like I stated, I do want to try to change the curriculum. The problem is that, like I stated in my first presentation, it can't just be like that. It has to go through selection committees. People have to vote on this stuff, and then once the curriculum committees pick it, then my director would pitch it to our faculty. So it's a much more tedious process. I really want to do that because the curriculum is unfortunately rather stale. It's rather old, and we do need to change it. Yeah. But I'm looking for a quicker approach because unfortunately, growing, as everybody sees here, a lot of students are having more and more anxiety.
Yeah.
And try to get a little bit of a burden off of them could actually make them want to come here instead of us pushing them away.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna be more attractive, the changing the curriculum. I know it's more
Sure.
difficult of an accounting major.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have like the opportunity to have like a tax software while in school.
I 100%
When I
agree with
entered
that.
to my internship, I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? So
Yeah.
that's really important. I really enjoy your presentation. I've been there when I took my entrance exam. I was like, oh my God, I need to get it done because
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a different school.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to change my major. I wanted to be an accounting major.
Mhm.
So it was a bit of a pressure, but I
Mhm.
think also keeps like good candidates to the school as well.
I understand that, and there's always good and bad with everything. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I'm just looking for something to, right now,
To attract.
to try to attract students. And if they say, hey, look, FAU's close, there's no entrance exams, my GPA I got work experience. Actually, it's funny you say that. I actually had a person today who was trying to come into my office and talk to me about getting a master's in accounting. She doesn't have degrees from here.
Okay.
She has a master's degree or an accounting degree from another country.
Okay.
And I asked her if she was AACSB accredited. She says, I think so. I was like, okay, well then if your credits match, you can come here. If not, you gotta take the accounting competency exam. She's like, oh my God, what is that?
As well as the GMAG and the GRE.
Yeah,
I think
well-
they're unnecessary for.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I told her, I said, if your GPA is above a 3.5, then more than likely you'll get it waived. Because but it's based on the graduate college. So,
For the executive program or for the?
no, for the traditional.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for the traditional, because like I said, we're trying to slowly implement things to make it easier for students to come here, because this is a happening place. Everybody wants to be in Florida where it's warm. Nobody wants to go no offense to Ohio State, but nobody wants to go out in Ohio State where it's cold. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to go to Wisconsin where it's cold, and they've got great schools out there. But we're trying to attract everybody. I mean, like they say on the stadium, we're 1.8 miles from the beach. Everybody wants to come here.
Yeah.
So we got to try to find a way to make it more attractive. And if we can get rid of the entrance exams, at least right now, and then try to revamp the curriculum later, then maybe we could get more students.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you guys very much.